I'm Crystal. I'm making this video today because my sister asked me about getting started in paper crafting, and she was wondering if she could buy all of her paper crafting supplies at the dollar store. And she certainly could get started in paper crafting by using that method without spending a ton of money. But I think there's some other bargain tips that would come in handy here. And so I just wanted to do a roundup of all the bargain craft supply tips that I have. And I hope that if you have some tips that you will add them in the comment box. The first thing I would suggest is to start with a non-shopping approach. So the first thing I would do if I were getting started would be tell everybody I know that I was getting started in scrapbooking or stamping or journal making or whatever it was that I wanted to get started in. Because crafters purge their supplies all the time, and they really like handing off those craft supplies to other crafters. So tell everybody you know. Tell the people in your Sunday school class. Tell the people at synagogue. Tell the people at Mandir. Wherever you are, your book club, at work. And if you yourself are under 50, tell your mother to tell her friends. Because a lot of times it's the older crafters who've had time to accumulate a bunch of craft supplies who are looking to offload some of those supplies. I have gotten some really great craft supplies just because people know that I'm a crafter. Sometimes through a really long chain of hands, but people don't want to throw that stuff in the trash. So start with networking. If you really want to embrace non-shopping, consider junk journaling. This is a craft that involves making your own book and pages out of found materials, like empty cereal boxes and junk mail. Since it requires no special supplies, it's perfect for the beginner or the bargain seeker. Every craft gives you the opportunity to spend money, of course, and this one will too, in the form of purchased printables and vintage style supplies. But you can absolutely be successful here with household supplies and no shopping. Now let's go on to bargain shopping. The first tip is the most important one, and that is to be selective. Have a plan and be selective in your shopping. No matter how cheap the price, if it's not what you really want and not something you end up using, or it's not your style, then it's not the right purchase. But we're going to discuss several strategies. First strategy we're going to talk about is category switching. If you have ever bought anything for a wedding, you know that sometimes the label is more closely related to the price than the item. I'm not knocking the retailers, I just want you to be aware of that pattern. The bigger the shopping audience, the smaller the price. So if we look at something like kitchen supplies, baking mats are made of silicone and they are great for messy craft projects, and they're about 10% the price of a craft mat. Dough scrapers, cooking spatulas, basting brushes, and fondant molds, they all have craft applications. Muffin tins and muffin cups are great for sorting small embellishments. Look at all kinds of organizational containers like spice racks, lazy susans, risers, and fridge bins. When we move on to office supplies, this of course is a great place to pick up scissors, rulers, post-it notes for masking, cardstock, permanent markers, and of course organizational containers like paper sorters and magazine holders. Just a note here, if I were going to get started in scrapbooking today, I would embrace the 8.5 by 11 size and use office page protectors. That's going to be a big cost savings. When we move on to the beauty aisle, it turns out that ink blending and makeup blending are a lot alike, so this is where I would pick up brushes and sponges for blending and face mask applicators. In the party supply aisle, take a look at wrapping paper and tissue paper. I love glitter and metallic wrapping paper for crafting. And then of course there are kids' crafts. This is a great area for basics or to try out something new. This is where you want to look at watercolor paint, washable markers, crayons, whether wax crayons or gel crayons, glitter glue, modeling paste, air dry clay, jewelry kits, color pencils. But using watercolor as an example, I have an expensive Kuretake paint set and a set by Artist Loft. One costs $50 and the other costs $5. Is the $50 set nicer? Sure it is. It's not 10 times nicer, and I'm not sure I have the skill and interest to make it worth the price difference. So you have to keep that in mind. Now we're going to take a look at dollar stores, which was really the focus of my sister's inquiry. She wanted to know if she could buy all of her craft supplies at the dollar store. And the price is right, but not everything is a good deal for $1. The local dollar store can be a good source for basic tools like small scrapers, craft picks, inexpensive paint brushes, foam tape, wrapping paper, glue pens. The larger containers are not a great price, but glue pens at 1 ounce or less are a deal at the dollar store. You can pick up remaindered hardback books if you're going to do junk journaling. It's a good source for makeup brushes and sponges, buttons, yarn. But different dollar store chains have different offerings. Dollar Tree offers a craft section with patterned paper, washi tape, stamps, dies, and stencils. And their prices on air dry clay and jewelry findings are great. Dollar General carries brush tip markers, acrylic paint markers, and letter stickers, which I have not seen at other dollar stores. Five Below has a good assortment of basics, but the unusual offerings are iridescent and pearlescent watercolor paint sets, multiple types of gouache, and glow-in-the-dark paint. There's also Daiso, which has limited locations, but they offer an array of stickers, washi tape, paper flowers, tiny envelopes, and origami paper. Now, since I'm trying not to buy craft supplies, I generally avoid haul videos. I don't watch them, I never record them when I fall off the wagon and go shopping, but these can give a good idea of what is offered by various retailers. Most people in the U.S. have access to a Dollar Tree, but if you are considering whether it's worth spending drive time to something further away, these haul videos can be helpful. Now we're going to move on to secondhand. So this would be thrift stores and garage sales, which can be really hit or miss on craft supplies. But if you search for creative reuse and art supply thrift store, you can find more focused thrift stores. So I will link in the description box to some lists of this type of physical store by location and a couple that are online. Now, when you're shopping secondhand, I would be hesitant to buy used electronic anything, but if you are in the market for a mechanical die cut machine, similar to a Sizzix Big Shot or a Spellbinders Platinum, keep your eyes peeled at the thrift store or garage sales. If the handle turns, it works. Now we need to talk about some unusual shopping sources. So one I want to mention is the grocery store. I mean, hey, you're there anyway. Check the seasonal merchandise. Immediately before and after any holiday, take a look at wrapping paper, garlands, paper napkins, gift bags. Wrapping paper is patterned paper. Garlands and banners are embellishments. Grocery stores do not have room to keep this stuff, and so they discount hard and fast. Hardware stores. Many craft trends have started in the hardware store, including foam tape and drywall mesh, but these are also a good source for magnetic cups, which are used in auto repair for storing small dies as you work, much cheaper than the craft versions. Then we come to online retail. So first, there are overseas retailers, and so this category would include Temu, AliExpress, Wish. These platforms operate much like third-party sales on Amazon, with the company providing a platform for many, many individual sellers. Now, there can be issues with product quality, delivery, customer service. There have been complaints of mishandling of user data, malware. There is a lot of intellectual property infringement and design theft. However, the price cannot be beat for basics like nesting shape dies or flower stickers. If you would rather do business with someone in the U.S., check out Gina Marie Designs for really rock-bottom prices on dies, and I will link that website in the description box as well. Another online retailer is Amazon, of course, and we all know what the issues are there. But anything by Sizzix or Stampers Anonymous that has been out for even a short while is generally less through those storefronts on Amazon than through their own website. You do need to calculate what a new email sign-up coupon might be worth and watch for sales at the retail websites, but Amazon gets the lowest price all the time. I notice these brands in particular because I'm such a Tim Holtz fan, But if you favor a particular wholesale line, check it out on Amazon. And then finally we come to craft stores. And I'm going to give some counterintuitive advice here, and that's to not go straight to the clearance section. I may be projecting my own problems, so you do you, but I end up buying junk because it's cheap. Don't be me. Be thoughtful and selective and buy what you want. Have a plan. When you have a plan, watch for coupons and sales, and don't skip that email sign up for the new customer discount. Now, I personally would recommend unsubscribing from the marketing emails because that just makes me want to shop, but that initial discount can be very worthwhile. And you always want to compare prices. You do it for gas and soft drinks, do it for craft supplies. Any brand that is sold by multiple retailers has multiple prices. I'll go back to the Tim Holtz example. Simon Says Stamp carries everything he ever designed, so I'm going to watch their sales, but I'm also going to check scrapbook.com, A Cherry on Top, and Amazon. Now, one area of the craft store that I want to call out particularly is art supplies. Craft stores sell these repackaged and rebranded, but card making and scrapbooking did not invent markers, paint, or crayons, so why not go to the source? And here I would recommend the store brand, behemoths, which are Arteza and Dick Blick. They make really great products at great prices, and I will link their websites as well. So I hope that some of these tips are useful for you. And if you have additional bargain shopping tips, I would love to hear about it. Please drop those in the comments. Thank you for joining me today.